I never felt that this is a position dangerous for me.
Welcome to Iron Arena, the home of combat sports storytelling. If you love Emma, if you live for the stories behind the fighters, then hit that subscribe button and join our community. Today, we dive deep into the legacy of one of the most technical, precise, and dominant fighters in the history of women's Emma, Valentina "Bullet" Shevchenko. Background: Valentina Shevchenko was born in Kyrgyzstan, a place where tradition, resilience, and survival were part of everyday life. Growing up in a family that deeply valued discipline and hard work, she was introduced to martial arts almost as soon as she could walk. At the age of just 5, while most children were still discovering simple games, Valentina was already learning the basics of Taekwondo. Her mother, a respected figure in sports, encouraged both her and her older sister Antonina to take martial arts seriously, and it quickly became clear that Valentina wasn't just another child in class, she was special. Life in Kyrgyzstan during the post-Soviet years wasn't easy. Resources were scarce, opportunities limited, and challenges constant. But it was exactly in this environment that Valentina built the toughness and resilience that would one day carry her to the highest levels of the fighting world. Every training session was more than just physical exercise. It was a test of patience, a sharpening of her mental will, and a way to channel the discipline her family instilled in her. Antonina, who would also go on to become a professional fighter, was not just a sibling, but a sparring partner, a motivator, and an example to follow. Together, guided by their coach Pavel Fedotov, the sisters developed sharp fighting styles rooted in adaptability, timing, and precision. For Valentina, these early years laid the foundation of everything she would later become: excellence in Muay Thai. Before the Emma world ever knew her name, Valentina was already a legend in the world of Muay Thai and kickboxing. She didn't just compete, she dominated. Traveling the world, often fighting in front of hostile crowds far away from home, she showed composure and skill that shocked even the most experienced fans of the sport. With multiple world championships to her name, she carved out a reputation as one of the most precise and dangerous strikers alive. Her fighting style was surgical. Every kick, every punch, every knee was delivered with perfect timing and accuracy. Her ability to control distance made opponents frustrated and helpless, while her counters often landed before the opponent even realized they had made a mistake. These qualities earned her the nickname Bullet, a reflection of both her speed and her precision. But what made her truly exceptional was her consistency fight after fight. She displayed the same sharpness, the same tactical awareness, and the same ruthless efficiency. Those years in Muay Thai were her laboratory, where she experimented, refined, and perfected the striking arsenal that would later make her a nightmare for Emma fighters. She didn't just win titles. She built a reputation as one of the finest female strikers of her generation, a standard that future fighters would measure themselves against. Entering the UFC. When Valentina entered the UFC, expectations were sky high. People knew her as a world-class striker, but Emma is a different battlefield. It requires more than just punches and kicks. Many thought she might struggle against grapplers and wrestlers, but Valentina proved them wrong almost immediately. Her transition into Emma wasn't just successful, it was smooth, almost natural. Her early fights were tests against some of the most experienced and dangerous names in women's Emma. She went up against Holly Holm, a former boxing world champion, and Amanda Nunes, the woman many consider the greatest female fighter of all time. Even in defeat, Valentina showed her class, pushing Nunes to razor-close decisions and proving that she wasn't just another fighter. She was already one of the elite. What stood out during these years was her fight IQ. Valentina wasn't just a striker. She adapted to grappling. She worked on submissions, and she developed the ability to shut down her opponents wherever the fight went. Every setback became a lesson, and every lesson fueled her evolution. In a sport where many fighters stagnate, Valentina kept adding layers to her game, making herself one of the most complete martial artists the UFC had ever seen. Flyweight division. The launch of the women's flyweight division was the turning point of her career. Finally, she had a weight class that suited her perfectly. No longer undersized at bantamweight, Valentina at 125 pounds was a force of nature. She immediately established herself as the fighter to beat, and it wasn't long before she captured the flyweight championship. Her reign wasn't just dominant, it was clinical. In every title defense, she showcased the perfect blend of patience, timing, and ruthless execution. Fighters came in with different game plans: pressure, wrestling, striking exchanges, but none of them could solve the puzzle of Valentina Shevchenko. She dismantled opponents in a way that made her fights feel less like contests and more like demonstrations of mastery. For years, she ruled the flyweight division with complete control. Commentators often ran out of superlatives to describe her performances. Fans expected dominance every time she walked into the octagon, and she delivered. In many ways, she turned the division into her personal kingdom, where every challenger was simply another opportunity to showcase her superiority. Alexa Grasso fight. But as every champion eventually learns, no reign lasts forever. In 2023, Valentina stepped into the cage against Alexa Grasso, a talented but underestimated challenger. Most expected another routine title defense, another night where Valentina's dominance would remain unchallenged. But Emma is unpredictable, and one mistake can change everything. Grasso capitalized on that mistake. In a shocking turn of events, she locked in a submission and ended Valentina's run as champion. It wasn't just a loss, it was one of the biggest upsets in women's MMA history. For fans, it was surreal. For Valentina, it was devastating but also revealing. Their rematch was even more dramatic. A back-and-forth war that showcased Valentina's resilience and heart. Though the fight ended in controversy, it highlighted the reality that the next generation was rising, ready to challenge the legends who had ruled for so long. The Grasso rivalry became not just a fight, but a story of legacy, change, and the passing of torches. What's next? At 36, Valentina Shevchenko remains one of the sharpest minds and toughest competitors in MMA. Her career raises countless questions. Will she reclaim her flyweight throne? Will she chase new opportunities, perhaps even a trilogy fight with Amanda Nunes? Or will she take on fresh challenges, pushing herself into new divisions? No matter what happens, one thing is certain: her legacy is untouchable. She is not just a champion, not just a fighter. She is an icon of martial arts. Her journey has elevated women's MMA, inspired countless athletes around the world, and proven that precision, discipline, and willpower can create greatness. Whether she fights 5 more years or decides to step away tomorrow, Valentina Shevchenko has already etched her name into the history of the sport. The bullet has left her mark, and that mark will never fade. This was the story of Valentina "Bullet" Shevchenko, a true martial artist and one of the greatest to ever step into the octagon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Iron Arena for more deep dives into the legends of MMA. Your support helps us bring these stories to life. Until next time, keep your guard up and your passion strong.